Hey, what is up everybody? This is Rob and I want to do a little video talking about my 2022 Toyota Tacoma that so far I've owned for about 2.5 years. What have been my impressions on it, and the reason why I still kind of think this is a better buy than the fourth generation Toyota Tacoma, and why if you're looking into new Tacoma, maybe it is still worth it to skip the fourth generation, right? For the time being at least. First, let's talk a little bit about my vehicle history. So I have owned, it's been mainly fun cars, 87 Supra, 2006 350Z, 2015 Mustang GT, 2021 Supra, 67 Camaro. It's been just a lot of fun cars, never really occurred to me to try to own, a truck. But honestly, back in 2021, I did purchase my first house. Now, this is when I was kind of thinking, maybe I should purchase something that has a little bit more utility so that if I ever do need to work on a house, or if I have any need to, really haul anything, I'm not throwing it in the bed of a sports car. Or sometimes I was trying to shove it into the back of my, my wife's 2017 Forester XT. Sometimes it would work, but, let's face it, there have been a few times where I had to rent machinery, and yeah, that rented machinery would leave a lot of residue and dust and dirt in the back, and then I was the one having to shampoo the carpets and all that. So having a truck has been very useful for that. And this 2.5 years with the Tacoma, they've been pretty solid. It runs well. It is, of course, it's not the most exciting thing, but it does look really nice. And overall, it's just kind of been there whenever I need it. Of course, this does lead me to talk about, why I'm not going to upgrade it. Because for a while I was considering, maybe I should sell it for the fourth generation Tacoma. Not just in terms of, as something to make new content of for my channel, but just for my own, personal enjoyment, just to, have something latest and greatest, and just for the sake of having something that might provide me a little bit more than my third generation Tacoma. But overall, when I really thought about it, I thought, it's really not worth it. And the third generation might be the smart thing to hold on to. And let's get into that. So first of all, let's talk about the performance. Of course, it is just a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated engine. It's a bit of a slug, of course. But drawing on the CVC tune that I put on, and guys, there are other tunes you guys might want to look into also, that really did make it more livable. Now, when you compare that to the fourth generation Tacoma that does have the nice new four-cylinder, turbo engine, and yeah, that's going to have a bit more grunt to it. But it's a turboed engine, and I'll go into that a little bit more later. And for me, when I looked at reviews, it wasn't enough of an upgrade, from the third generation to be worth it. The fourth generation Tacoma does have a very polarizing look to it. I think it looks great. Other people don't. It just has that new age future thing that Toyota goes for nowadays. Sharp angles, sharp headlights, those kind of things. I like that third generation Tacoma. It looks like a truck. Like, it looks like a cool little truck. I know people who aren't even into trucks, and when I pull up with the Tacoma, especially in the Lunar Rock color and the off-road reps I have on it, people are like, wow, that's a really nice vehicle. People like it. People who never have an interest are like, okay, I take that one. That's pretty sick. It just has a cool shape to it. And I really enjoyed getting to enhance the shape of it and the look of it with, the various things I've thrown on it. The nicer fog lights, a nice bed cover, the sliders I have on it. It's been really fun to sort of increase the look. And as time goes on, I need to replace things. I'm looking forward to adding a few little things, for my own sense of style to it. Dependability. Now, I'm not going to say the fourth generation isn't dependable, but when you look at what's being offered, there is a chance it won't be as dependable as the third generation. We're trading up from a naturally aspirated 3.5 to, again, a turboed four-cylinder. That will usually mean eventually you will have to knock a little bit off the reliability, as that is more stress on some parts that will need to be replaced. We're already seeing that there is that recall on the 8-speed automatic that they come in. So most likely, I'd be pretty surprised to see if people are able to push them past 200,000 miles, relatively problem-free, when we're having enough examples of the third generation Tacoma, being able to meet those, expectations. So I do think that in terms of dependability, fourth generation does have something to prove, but honestly, I don't see it quite being there. If you don't agree with me, please let me know. But if we want long-lasting dependability, I just still think that the third generation, that's gonna be, the one you want to choose for that. Of course, guys, don't take this as me saying that the fourth generation is an unreliable piece of crap. No, that is 100% not true. I do think it will still have its merits. I do think compared to the other competitors in the same market segment, it will probably still be the winner. But will it be the winner against a third generation? Probably still not. Because again, traditional engine, just naturally aspirated, no frills. Traditional transmission, no recalls on that one. I still think it's going to be the better buy. And I mean, let's face it, a lot of people, when they're buying Tacomas, they are looking for something that will last, that they can essentially drive until the wheels are falling off. And sometimes that doesn't happen for a while. It's pretty cool. Whenever I would take my Tacoma to the gas station, whenever there is someone there with an older Tacoma, like a first or second gen, they always stop and talk to me. And they're like, and it's actually always been around the same. They always say pretty much the same thing. They're like, keep the oil changed and it's gonna run forever. Now, let's fast forward 20 years. Do we think we're gonna see a lot of people at the gas station of a fourth generation saying that? There's a decent chance not, because as soon as the problems start, they might have already sold them. That's just the way it goes when you're dealing with, especially turbo engines. I do like also that with the third generation, we do already have a lot of aftermarket parts out there, already in abundance. You don't have to be the beta tester. You already have all these parts with years and years of product reviews where people can already tell you pretty easily, what brands not to buy, what brands to buy. And I think there's some value in that, especially if you want a platform to really modify, because I usually prefer to the first tier of these new generations as the influencer gens, right? It's the when the influencers are buying them and they're buying all the new fancy parts. A lot of times it is, keep in mind, a lot of times it is because the brands reach out to them. Like, hey, install our product, do a video, you can have it for free or severely discounted. So do keep that in mind. So of course they're gonna say, oh my God, this is the brand new exhaust from so-and-so. It sounds so great. But then let's say you fast forward 3 or 4 years, you're gonna see a lot of people on the forums or on the groups online saying, actually, no, it kind of sucks. Right now it's that period where everything is latest and greatest. Everything is so cool and new and great because it's all brand new. Keep that in mind. If you want, modability, it might still be worth to stick to a third generation. I know I keep harping on this fact, but this is just it, because if you're buying a Tacoma, you're buying it for reliability. You're probably going to pay more for a Tacoma than you will for an American truck with similar specs. Sometimes the American one will be the better performer and stuff, but you're still going to want the Toyota because you're buying it because you expect it to last. Third generation Tacoma, over 5 years of proven reliability, over 5 years of the kinks being worked out. And that is so important when you really want to buy a vehicle, you want it to last. That is also why if you want to buy a third generation Tacoma, I will say, buy as new a third generation model as you can, 2021, 2022, 23. If you can buy those, especially, you are golden. But even then, if you look at the earlier, models, they weren't even too bad either. And now what's great is there are all these posts online where you can really do your own research and really see, where all the major changes were made to ensure you get the most for your money. Moral of the story, people, is if your goal is longevity, go third generation. That turbo engine, there's a decent chance that we'll be putting these fourth generation Tacomas in that, own it for 5 years and sell it as soon as you get past 60, 70,000 miles camp. Which, let's face it, if you're buying a Tacoma, that's usually not where you want to be with it. And that's 100% all right to look for a third generation. When I recently bought a new car for my wife, I specifically stayed away from turbo models. We ended up getting a CX-5. You might have seen I posted a few videos for it. And I specifically wanted the naturally aspirated because I wanted something that would run. I wanted something that I wouldn't have to worry about, especially because with turbo engines, they are always going to need a little bit more. And with that, guys, I just want to share that little video. The reason being is I do get asked quite a bit if I do plan on trading in my third generation for a fourth generation, and the answer is no, especially right now. Do let me know what you guys think. If you have a fourth generation, let me know. As always, I'm always here to have some conversations. So with that, guys, this is Rob, and have a good one.